Hey everybody, I know it's been a really long time since I last uploaded a video. Um, so much has changed in my life. I can testify and publicly thank God for blessing me with my first home. Despite all the challenges that went into buying a home, especially in this market, I can thank God for just sustaining me and my son during the pandemic and how he's just kept his hand on us and protected us through everything. I want to apologize to all of you because I know I haven't been consistent in posting videos. In fact, I posted a lot of videos on my Instagram page, but I do have several updates. So one, I published and authored another book last year, if I didn't share it already. This book is on forgiveness. It's called Clean Slate. So it talks about my journey with forgiveness and how God helped me to learn to forgive other people despite being an analyzer and being very logical, needing to understand everything. And God taught me how to forgive in different circumstances and situations. That book is on Amazon. You can grab your copy, whether it's Kindle or the actual physical book. Also, if you like personalized sign books, you can visit my website, marquitapriester.com, and reach out to me there, and I can send you an autographed copy, and the price of those are on my website as well. But I really just wanted to come back and let y'all know like the areas that God has worked on me, and my hope is to eventually get those videos of my journey through those different areas posted to the channel, so that way you can walk through working through offense, rejection, and also dealing with uprooting negative words in your life and in your vocabulary. So about March of this year, actually April of this year, right after I moved into my home, God really pressed my heart to read The Bait of Satan again and deal with offense, because offense was subtly weaving its way into my relationships and into my life, to the point that I was responding and reacting from a place of offense, and it was affecting everything. It wasn't putting me in a position to communicate in a healthy way, and most of all, it was causing me to build walls around my heart and around my life to exclude God from things that I was doing. After God dealt with me about offense, he immediately said, you need to go deal with the rejection that you have in your life. God led me to read a few books. One of those books was, I think it's Uprooting the Spirit of Rejection by Apostle John Eckhart. The other book was a really good book on rejection by Mark DeJesus. I think it's Exposing the Rejection Mentality. I will tag the books in the comments. I also have another book on rejection by Joyce Meyer. So I did a lot of reading, but as I began to get midway through this process, God illuminated to me specific areas of where I was dealing with rejection and how rejection was subtly attacking me and my relationships, especially being able to have healthy relationships of all kinds. Then he was like, now you need to focus on your words. The why behind all of this was because God gave me the word heal for the year. My one word, y'all know I began practicing this back in, I think it was 2014 or 2015. And ever since then, I've had a word for the year, and God is like showing himself through those words. Every time I have one expectation of God showing up in my life through a word, he does a whole thing that I could have never imagined or fathomed. This year, I was thinking I finally was going to get the answer to my prayers. I was thinking that God was going to finally heal my kidneys. He was going to finally heal my heavy bleeding. He was finally going to do all of these different healings in my life, especially dealing with inner healing. But then there was a lot of things that began to pop up in my life. I had irregular bleeding on top of heavy bleeding. Then I also had, of course, with my first house fell through, and I had to heal my mindset about how I thought things were supposed to happen. Of course, God dealt with me about offense, rejection, and of course, how I speak to others and to myself. But he also had to do a physical healing for me, because last year I received news that I had fibroids. God went on to have me repeat ultrasound, where it was found that I have no fibroids. Then I went on to have 2 biopsies, where one of which I just got the results on Monday. And I have come to learn that there is no cancer in my body, although there was never any cancer, but there is no cancer in the areas that God had me tested for. And if I'm honest, all that stuff really, really tested and stretched my faith this year to the point I was like, God, why is all of this happening to me? And so as I've been able to walk through dealing with words and being mindful of what I speak, I've come to realize that God was teaching me a lot of things. One, that if I'm believing him for something, that I have to speak faith-filled words. Nothing else can be in my mouth. So one of the ways that God did that was by having me continue to practice gratefulness. So I think I'm on day like 110, 111 of days of gratefulness. So if I skipped a day or so, I would go back and do every single day because I could remember what I did the day before or the days before. So that way I can thank God for something every single day to keep me in the right mindset. The second thing was I have had to listen to or read tons of devotions. So I'm keeping the word in my heart and in my mind. I created a healing confession, went back to doing those because I used to do daily confessions and affirmations based on scripture to affirm God's truth and promises in my life. I also created a playlist on YouTube that I listen to different sermons about healing to continue to stir up and build up my faith. But most of all, God really had to do a shift in my mind to teach me that sometimes he allows things to happen in our lives because if we don't go through that thing, and I have to thank God for the word, the post from Lisa TerKeurst that really helped me to understand that by going through that thing, we would have never known that something was going on. We would have never known, hey, you might need to monitor that particular thing. Like, for example, with my thyroid, I know now that I have to be checked fairly regularly to make sure that nothing is out of whack, that my levels are where they need to be or approaching where they need to be. I've also, of course, y'all know I am the queen of dietary changes. I changed my diet a little bit more. I bought a new juicer so I can get back into doing that faithfully instead of buying juice. And so now I'm in a whole lot better space because I know for a fact that it's not cancer, that yes, my thyroid levels may be off, but the things that I have been praying about, I'm beginning to see the answers to those prayers. And more so, I realize now as I'm recording this that God was really teaching me that I can't idolize or I can't want the result more than I want God. I can't want the answer to my prayer more than I want him. So with that said, I'm coming back. I'm going to be consistent. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, where you can get regular and you can go back all the way through until I get everything uploaded, my Instagram handle is MarquitaBP. And if there's any way that I can pray for you, I still have my prayer request prayer box page on my Life Inspired by God blog. Also, you can always just send me an email at lifeinspiredbygod@gmail.com if you need prayer. And I'm really believing in standing in faith and on faith for God to completely heal me this year. Things that I've been dealing with, things that have been holding me back, that it's time for those things to be uprooted because I don't ever want to be in a space where I'm asking God why a thing is happening to me again. And more importantly, I want to just stand in faith for healing, not just for myself, but for anybody, because I know now the fact that I went from having too many fibroids to count according to the ultrasound to having none. So this was October to May, that God is faithful to do what he said. So I am back. I'm so sorry. And I want to say thank you all for your encouragement, your comments. I read them. I've been really busy and swamped with working and parenting because of being in the pandemic. I'm having double duty, but I am committed to doing what God has told me to do in regards to sharing my journey and my faith walk. And I'm also committed to praying for you all and praying in agreement with you all as well. Have a good night. Bye.